All right, well, let's get some clarity now, and we're joined by the Gauteng Transport MEC Kedibone Diale-Tlabela, who joins us to discuss this. MEC, good evening to you, and thank you for your time. Mr. Ntlapo there says there's a deadlock, but you're saying no, there actually is not a deadlock. So put us in the picture. What happened at this meeting?
Okay, thank you very much, and good evening to the people of Gauteng, the viewers, and good evening to yourself. It has been a long day. We've been in a meeting since 11 o'clock, and I just wanted to clarify on your opening remarks on the story. The storyline is there are no taxi operations from today in Ekurhuleni as a result of a dispute between the taxi associations there and the bus operator there. And there's also another issue of the killings within the industry. I think to date, even today, we had 2 more people being killed. As to whether it's related to this impasse or not, we are not sure. But they have guaranteed us that it's not related. It's a separate thing. You know, there's been killings out of their conflicts and disputes in the whole province, not only in Ekurhuleni. And the team that we met with, which is the Ekurhuleni Taxi Associations, they assured us that the killings are not related to the strike of today. So the strike of today is as a result of a dispute between themselves and a bus operator that they believe was driving on the routes that they have permission on as taxi association. And the arrest, according to law enforcement agencies that we work with, is as a result of the dispute and how they, as taxi associations, handled the matter. One of the things that we must really clarify, I think one of the serious challenges we have with the industry is the manner in which they resort to resolving conflicts and disputes that they have. And we have tried as a provincial government to make sure that we put mechanisms in place to help them be able to resolve their issues.
Before you move on from exactly this point you are making, MEC, because that has always been the challenge with the taxi industry, them resolving disputes through guns or whatever it is, but basically resorting to violence. Can I ask you how confident you are about the information they are giving you that the 2 killings that have happened are not linked to the dispute that you are trying to resolve?
Look, it's all about, we will take their word for that, but we have law enforcement agencies that I went with to the meeting just to do an analysis of what we will get out of them. You'd know that the provincial government previously put together a commission of inquiry, and if you check the report also, they claim not to know what is the cause of the killings and who's killing. And it's quite difficult. It's also difficult for law enforcement agencies. And one of the things they raised today is that no one gets to be arrested.
So as we speak, these 2 murders that you are saying are not related to this...
They claim they're not related to the strike.
No one has been arrested in that regard?
With regards to the departed souls.
Yes.
But then the people who are arrested are people who damaged property, are people who were harassing and bullying women and passengers who were in the buses. And they are charged as we speak. And the bone of contention is they want the provincial government and the city of Ekurhuleni to help them get the 4 arrested people to be released. They are already charged and in the custody of SAPS. There's nothing we can do. No one is above the law. But also they are charged, according to police, the charges are scheduled charges. You can't just release a person on a police bail. But they are still to appear in court. And the challenge now is that they are demanding that they be released immediately. Something that I cannot do as MEC of Transport in Gauteng. I can't just release people immediately in police custody. Everyone must follow the law, and no one is above the law, and that's what we tried to raise with them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we could not agree, and they have resorted to, and apologies to people of Gauteng, unfortunately, they might be inconvenienced tomorrow. How they left the meeting is that there will be, Gauteng will be to a standstill tomorrow, but we are still to engage with their provincial structure that was supposed to be in the meeting earlier today, and they could not make it. But from here, I'm going to be meeting with them just to discuss some of the issues they were raising. But this is the main issue, that release. Then we will release the people arrested, then we will be able to operate tomorrow.
MEC, let's then get into the nub of today's meeting. This is about lucrative routes that taxi operators believe they were the ones who established these routes in the first place, and therefore bus operators should not get involved. Let's get something very clear. You are the authority when it comes to transport issues in this province. And so you will tell people to toe the line, otherwise they are going to be met with the law. What is the proposed solution from your department as the authority?
You know that, and one thing, in a democratic South Africa, I don't think anyone has the right to bully government, and anyone has no right to bully commuters. Commuters have the right to choose. And the challenge here is an industry that does not want to get onto tables and discuss. And what they claim that is a dispute is what we both don't know ourselves as, and the municipality as a contracting authority. That there has been, currently we've been in negotiations on bus subsidy contracts as a provincial government, where we also have included municipalities in the negotiations. And part of the conditions of the contracts to those who are participating is to set aside 30% of those contracts to ensure transformation within the bus operation. And transformation, we mean the involvement and participation of youth, people with disability, women, small bus operators. And to that, one other guideline to that is to also include the taxi industry. To an extent, in some of the contracts, and including this one, they are to get 15%. They have 15% set aside. And there has been discussions, and this should be done by the contractor that is contracted with the department. So the challenge is with their governance structures, because at a provincial level, in platforms where we engage with the industry, it's really clarified, and there's a thorough understanding. It's successful in Tshwane, the taxi industry in Tshwane is involved, and I mean, they are happy. Here there's still negotiations, it's not yet finalized.
In Tshwane, how much are we talking in terms of percentage? Because
the percentage,
you have spoken about 15%.
15%.
The demand in this dispute is that taxi operators want 30%.
It's not possible to give the taxi. This is a bus operation. It's not possible to give the taxi industry the whole 30%. Remember, on the table of the minister, as I'm talking to you, they are also negotiating for their own subsidy. So I don't think it's fair. It's not fair to other vulnerable groups that must also participate in the economic mainstream of our country. And I think maybe it's a misunderstanding of the person that presented that to you, but there's that agreement with their provincial structures and even national structures. So I think that Nhlapo has a challenge of just understanding what are we talking about. The contract is not yet finalized. There's still negotiations, there's rationalization of routes, but the main issue is the people on the ground want the buses, the low-incomers. And low-incomers, we're talking about domestic workers. Let me tell you the reality on the ground, Xoli. The reality on the ground is 5 mothers who are domestic workers are buying 1 ticket in a month. and they use it. They share it amongst themselves because they don't work on a daily basis. So Monday is Madiale, Tuesday is Matlabela, Thursday is Mamudise. All those mothers are able to use this one ticket to travel to work and be able to save a little wages that they get and be able to raise their kids.
And I'm glad you've painted that story.
It's unfair for the taxi industry to want to bully in as much as they've got the roots. And that's why the 15% negotiations with them, that be part of this arrangement so that people are able to choose. But you must understand we are moving towards an integrated transport plan in the province, where you've got the choice to use e-hailing. Just the other day, 2 days ago, and that's why maybe I'm a bit angry with them. Just 2 days ago, I was sitting with them coming to present an initiative they have, which was exciting, which was starting to say to us, they have now accepted. We are now in a different era. They need to modernize. They need to change the perceptions. And they can't continue to bully commuters in Gauteng. Women organizations are complaining. They've been reaching out to civic organizations to say, MEC, we are sick and tired. If they are not killing each other, they are bullying us and they are harassing us. And they must really stop. So and we will not be bullied as a government.
MEC, let's end it on this note then. How do you tell the bully to toe the line? Otherwise, they're going to be met with the long arm of the law. What is it? What is your message to them? Because you said at the start of this conversation, it's difficult to get them to come to a meeting and make commitments.
Remember, I'm a regulator here. And remember, we are government. And we are in a democratic government. And that's what we tried to, for the past 8 hours with them in a meeting, to negotiate and tell them. And remember, the reason why those individuals are arrested, the women who were harassed. I'm a gender activist. I stand with the mothers who were arrested. I stand with everybody who felt undone by them. And that's what I tried to communicate. And we just said to them, they must not push us to an edge. It's not that government cannot act. Government has powers. Government can be able to act. And they know it very well. And that's why we are still to meet with their provincial structures this evening, just to look into what's transpired. And I need an explanation from their provincial structures. Or is this how they conduct themselves? And is this how people in Gauteng will be bullied into using their services? Surely it's not that. And I am for their transformation. I'm for their modernization. I'm also for protection of their business. Right. This is a business entity. This is business. It means a lot to them. We need them to survive. We need to protect them. And we are working hard as a provincial government to make sure that they are protected. There are things that I will not diverge, initiatives that we have put in place to ensure that the industry is protected, but also to make sure that the industry transform and modernize, and the industry understand that we've got the right to choose
MEC,
as commuters.
Quickly, your message to commuters tonight. What happens tomorrow?
To commuters in Gauteng, maybe let me also first apologize that there might be an inconvenience tomorrow, and please make arrangements for your traveling to various economic activities that you are supposed to be traveling to. We will try hard to communicate immediately after this evening's meeting with the provincial structures as to whether the case still stands that they are withdrawing their services. In Ekurhuleni, they were for sure, and we are just waiting to hear whether it will be province-wide. But just to assure citizens and community members of Gauteng is that we are on top of the issues. We'll continue to negotiate, discuss with them. But the taxi industry should know that we are governed by law and no one is above the law. And condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones. And we are very sorry, and I think the law enforcement agencies, including our national structures, will make sure that we get to the bottom of the killings. It's really saddening. Commuters are no longer feeling safe in taxi ranks. The sad thing is it's happening everywhere, everywhere where you find taxis.
MEC, let me thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Koli, and
right.
Good evening to your viewers.
Kedibone Diale-Tlabela is the MEC of Transport in the Gauteng province. Well, there is the message from her.